Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played between Chi Minh Godzilla playing as First Canada and he's going up against Zsadok playing as 25Y. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Zsadok, and he's playing 25th Soviet. It's a funny div, you rarely see it. It is strong. It's just, it does the same thing all the other Soviet slot divs do, you know, Cub plus heavy tank plus BMP. And so people don't play this one because there's other ones that just do the same thing but better. So you don't see it a lot. Doesn't mean it's a bad div, it's just kind of boring. So 3 cards of supply, I guess makes sense given all the tanks, right? Because you only get 5 infantry slots, which is why nobody plays it. Because you can just play 79Y, do basically the same thing in the tank tab. Obviously not that many tanks, but you get like 7 cards of infantry, or it might be 8. So you got to pick your battles. What I will say is I just bring the Saperi RPO for the forests, so that you can actually win those forest fights. And then you only need 1 card of infantry in trucks, and yeah, it can be this one if you want. I mean, and then the other ones I'd just bring in the BMPs. Although the BMP one, well, yeah, you want at least 1 card of BMP2s, maybe even 2. I mean, isn't that the whole point of the div? I might just be wrong, but yeah, the BMP1 PG is the best one, and that's not here, so you don't really have much of a choice there. And, like, you can bring another one in the BMP1 if you want, but I think the idea is you just don't have that much infantry, and you make sure that these, you just use them in pairs. Paul Machiki goes first, and you can upvet this if you want, but you don't have to. And then the point is you're supposed to bring both cards of Mount River to help you out. So this thing's great for going around the sides and sniping things. It's a really, really underrated unit. But this gives you exceptional optics for your tanks. So if you need to choose between them, most people pick this one because it gives you exceptional optics for your tanks, whereas this only gives you very good optics. This can survive a tank shot and it can smoke and stuff, so you kind of need it. And then once you've got this, people don't really bring this, because if you want to go around the sides, yeah, you don't have any BTR-60s or SPWs or anything. So maybe you do need this. But yeah, you do kind of want this so that you can see stuff. And you also want the second card of Mount River so you can exist, right? The Razvedka BMP2 is really nice, but it costs a lot of money, so the reason people tend not to bring it. This should be at 1 vet. If you're gonna bring this, I mean, you can bring this if you want. It's not so bad. I prefer this, but this already has 30% accuracy, so yeah, you can do that if you want. It's just the Apache still outranges it, right? So if you're in a big open field, the Apache's gonna kill this before it can shoot back. But then this might miss, whereas if this can actually shoot at the Apache, it's gonna kill it. And the Cub-Ryusa combo is always nice. Yeah, so this is 2 per card, right? And this is 6 per card. And it's the same. It is the same. Right? So, rather than bring 4 helos, let's bring 6 helos. And then you can 1-vet this if you want, so that those guys can actually go into the fight. And you can even 1-vet this if you want, and then you can actually have them, you know, fight. Is there a 1-point slot anywhere? These are 1-point slots. You can 2-vet your T-64s if you want, it's just it doesn't make the rate of fire go up, so I'm not really sure if that's such an amazing idea. And, you know, like, this is a lot of tanks. So like, you can do it if you want, and it does make the accuracy go up, and the aim time go down, but and obviously it increases the cohesion and so on. But, you know, you're still gonna fire at the same rate, so I don't think it's as important. Either way, you know, this is 4, right, and now you've got 3. And you can just do, I mean, to be honest, you've got a lot of tanks, mate, so maybe you can just leave it like that. Now you've got 2 AP, and now you can get some more planes. I wouldn't upvet this. I wouldn't upvet this at all. You're just gonna die to just bad RNG, alright? You're gonna be like, oh, I've got 60% ECM, and then you're still gonna die because of the bad RNG, so I don't think that's a good idea. So you could bring, you could just down-vet it for stars. And then, yeah, you could bring 2 more fighters if you want, or you could get... It's like this does 1 pass tanks, which is why it's 2 availability, and this is 3. And then this thing is pretty nice to have, right? Or you could just bring more fighters if you want. Really get that air superiority. Why is this at 2 vet? Don't do that. I have a video on it. In fact, I believe he just commented on me, on that video. I believe he just commented on that video saying, actually, I think it's a good idea. And it's a video of a 2 vet fighter being one-shot by a cub. So, so unfortunately, the propaganda needs to be upgraded if he hasn't. Although, of course, he sent me this before I made that video. But yeah, you never want to upvet your fighters, ever. Because unless you just enjoy gambling, right? But at the very least, if you're going to upvet it, at least now you've got 4 instead of 3, right? Like, you could even have 5, and then in which case, yeah, this can be upvetted. But no, I would just downvet that, have 4 fighters, and bring this. There must be something else you could put in as well, so... yeah. Don't bother with the grad. It's just not worth it. So I would just 2-vet this and 2-vet this. And if you're like, I need them both to be the same. Like, this is actually better at shooting people, because it's got higher range, which means that the dispersion's less. This is better at surviving counter battery, because this has less than 1 top armor. And, you know, it's got an NSVT and so on. But they will fire at the same rate, because the... oh no, hang on. This is turreted. Isn't it? So this will actually fire faster. Because it'll aim a little bit faster. So if that's messing you up when you're doing the synchronized firing things, you can just do it like that. Right? But this does have a slightly nicer dispersion, so you know... but this will aim a little bit faster because it'll turn into position faster and start that aiming clock faster. So you might get messed up with that. When you're hotkeying them and you're doing your return fire thing. But yeah, don't bother upvetting the fighters, man. It's just I enjoy gambling. Well, okay. I don't. So yeah, I think that's everything. I mean, the deck, the div, it's not really got much to it, has it? The other thing is, yeah, so like this for going around the sides can be really nice if you don't, but you are losing out on the exceptional optics. But you don't have anything else that can go around the sides, because these come in MTLBs instead of SPWs. So that can be a pain. And also it's really nice to have a grenade launcher, but then you got to lose a whole card of infantry, and you can't really afford to do that when you've only got 5 cards plus 2, 7, right? So yeah, hopefully that helps, but it's just like, there's just no reason to play this div instead of like 6Y or something. Or 79Y or something like that. It's just a shame. It is what it is. Switching to his opponent, we got Godzilla playing as Canada. Kind of hard to know what to say here because, yeah. So first thing, to the AA tab, everybody likes bringing these blowpipes at max vet in the blowpipe thing because they get, like, it is decent against helos to get 2 anti-helos with 40% accuracy for 35 points is pretty nice, but your anti-plane capacity's crap, so some people like to bring this for the anti-plane. I would prefer just a card of regular javelins, I think, but yeah, maybe this can work for the anti-plane, right? You put it somewhere and just hope it shoots down the plane. It's also immune to seed, but I'd prefer the javelin, right? This is faster. Although the javelin ain't great against planes. Actually, this is better against planes. It's just it's less mobile, and you've got your man pad. It's just it is only anti-helo. This thing sucks against planes. Hey, look at the range. It won't aim in time. So just something to keep in mind. 2 cards of supply, okay. Mortars for smoke, okay. And he's brought it in the tracked one, so it's got a bit of armor on it. Okay. CV numbers, so 2, 4, 7. That's not a bad CV, actually, because it's, 3 per card with 8 strength. It's really not so bad. 50 cows instead of MMGs, because you don't get MMGs, so that's a shame. I would probably be bringing 2 cards of ATGMs instead of 10 billion mech rifles or whatever. This is actually not so bad because it's got 9 strength with 2 machine guns and the flamethrower. Maybe it's not so bad. I need to try that one out specifically. And then, yeah, you definitely need these because they're 11 blokes. The Eric's core, you need the Eric's. Mott Rifle's Carl Gustav instead of Tank Hunters is interesting because for the same price you get 2 rocket launchers, but you get 2 SMGs, which reduces your anti-infantry. But why are you getting that squad on the right? Surely it is for the AT, because the mech rifles are your anti-infantry AT. Like, do you even need this? It's a 3-pointer. If you want a Grizzly, you've got the Eric's Grizzly, and you can send that round the sides and snipe stuff. It's really nice at doing that. So, like, do you not want to save 3 points? How much infantry does one man need? And then these things I don't really think are worth the price. You've got the tanks if you want to shoot somebody. These aren't expensive, so... you know, anti-infantry, firepower, I guess, but... I'd rather just sell the trucks and get something else on this div anyway. Which, to be honest, I don't play that much, so maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I think I already said that, though. Very good optics versus very good optics with a minigun. I prefer the minigun, because in the opener you can actually kill stuff with that if you get lucky and so on, so... These guys can be good because the ground surveillance radar. This is your actual fighting recon. And now you can bring the javelins, yeah. Or you could bring, you know, some supply or whatever. Why didn't he bring this? What the hell's wrong with him? This thing is really good. You need to bring that. It's so good. You can open with the recon helo and just one of these, and it will just kill the enemy forward deployed trucks. Like one, I think 2 missiles that hit it will just blow it up because it's anti-tank. And you can bring the tow cobra if you want as well, because you've got enough planes. Let's face it. In terms of like what to bring, I prefer these as well because they reload so quick. This is, you know, it's more survivable, but it doesn't reload as quick. Although, admittedly, I think if you drop this on somebody, it'll kill them, like a heavy tank or something, because that's almost 2,000 kg of ordnance. Minus what? 200, so 1,800 kilograms of ordnance. It's quite a lot. This is the same rocket that's on the helicopter. And yes, you can do a very funny opener where you open with this and you open with this, and if you're on a map where you know they're all gonna conga line down mid or whatever to the middle of the zone, you just shift click all of them and it will just kill all of them. It's very funny. It's very funny. So that's the deck reviews out of the way. Now let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, the deck reviews out of the way. Yeah, Canada, probably the better division, but it relies mainly on its mobility and stuff, and this map doesn't really have any of that because of how narrow it is. When you first get on the map, you're like, wow, what a big map. But there's a big river here, so nothing happens here. And because of this big forest, nothing really happens here. You can send, and Canada should definitely send, 1 grizzly all the way around and go blow everything up, right? But you take that out, and then there's these big lakes here, and you find that actually you're just fighting like that. And in reality, you're just fighting like this and like this, because, you know, if you're here, well, you've basically taken this whole bit, right? So yeah, the most of the fighting tends to happen like there. I suppose this tower has somebody in it shooting you, so I guess, yeah, okay, I'll do you a favour. There you go. So map doesn't look so big anymore. So that does help 25Y a lot. But yeah, Canada kind of stronger with the Erics and so on, and neither team gets airborne forward deployment. And this guy's comes in the BMP 1P, so that's going to be really slow. These are definitely going to beat him there. Stems from a lack of understanding, I suppose. This deployment, I mean. So, looking at the deployment, we got the double recon helo opener, right? So he's going to see everything. And then he's got 1 recon going to here. But he could get here first, ahead of his opponent. So hopefully the recon helo will let him know that, and he'll update his firmware, right? And then we've got mech recce's. Go to this position. It's a nice spot. I prefer... Okay, so he sent a couple of these Cougar Recce's. I didn't actually realize they were in the deck review. I think they're terrible. That's weird, actually. I looked at... I must be losing it. I don't think they're very good at all. And then we've got 2 smoke mortars. Okay, so he's planning on attacking here, because look where the smoke mortars are. But does he not know that? Because like, if he just puts an ADATS there, then nobody can come down here, and then he gets in here at the start, and then he can, you know, take this. And that's a +2. This is a +1. So, quite surprised by the direction. Finer Flam, the Erics, which is super useful here. But, you know, if you get an Erics into here, same kind of story. 2 Leopard 1s, and the 2 40-pointer CVs. Yes, one for Ivan, Paul, and then Anna, presumably. One for Olga. On the right, we got a Recce GSR and an Ito. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we got Zsadok playing 25Y. This div is like the other Soviet mechanized divs, but just kind of, you get not much infantry, so it's just generally not taken. This is a really nice tank, though, as are the 160 pointers they get. He gets really nice tanks, actually. So, yeah, but why there? Suppose he's probably planning on attacking here. Yes, he is. So, so we've got the BRDM2s, which are useful. Generally, people prefer the BRM1K because it gives you tanks exceptional optics if you put it, you know, it goes next to your tanks. Because this only gives you very good optics. But it's cheaper and you get one more of them. The issue, of course, is this div doesn't get anything that can go around the sides and annoy people because it doesn't even get like an ATGM carrier. Whereas this, which is another reason why nobody picks it, this you get, so you can send that around the side, right? For example. And then we've got a smoke mortar. It's good to see the smoke mortars. Saperi regular instead of the RPO one. I prefer the RPO one now. Humachiki, Briusa, Cub, BMP 1K. Okay. And then on the right, we've got sort of a small defense. I'm getting the impression he's not going to be able to hold on to this. Another 2 Pulmachiki, a Briusa, a Cub, an Igla for mid, Motrazvedka for mid. But yeah, generally not much on this side, just a bit of infantry. Quite surprised that he's not opened with the 160 point tanks. But that's because he's bought so much AA, right? So he doesn't actually have the points for it. Basically, what I would have done is had just an Igla here, or just the Briusa here. That'd give you 110 points. And then that's still not enough for the tank, so don't know what to say. No, you could get... Well, that still wouldn't be enough. You'd have to get rid of an infantry, but no, you need 2 infantry, 1 for here. But, well, it's actually, I suppose, this Motrazvedka... Well, typically you do kind of want to, there. Yeah, you could get rid of both AA, but then you're just going to get... I mean, you're playing against Canada. Yeah, it sucks. It's not my problem, though. Let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel, they get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. And this is why he's open with 2 cubs. Because Air Canada is here with the recon helos to try and snipe all the stuff as it comes down the road, because the recon helo spots it and then this kills it. The rockets on this are anti-tank rockets. So I don't think they'd be able to pen the front armor of this. But any of this lighter stuff, it just immediately explodes, you'll see. So, like, he didn't have to even fire that many rockets. And it has 40% ECM, but 2 cubs and it evacs, even if they miss. So there you go, so that's why he had 2 cubs. And it worked out, because, you know, obviously it doesn't kill it, but these aren't dead either. And this is 220 points, and that was 200 and whatever. And he also opened with a fighter, which you don't do, because that thing's got 40% ECM, and if the enemy opens with a fighter, you just evac it. So, this is the better plane. That's why it costs more, right? It's got more ECM, and it's a bit faster, and it's got 2 more missiles. Oh, no, it's not. It's got 2 more long-range missiles. But the thing, he's trying to bait him over the Cubs, and he's falling for it. Okay, he's noticed. Because, yeah, obviously there are Cubs here. He saw what happened to his AT thing. And you really would expect this to win. It's got more ECM, but he's really worried about flying over the Cubs, and they just evac him. And he took a bit of damage there, although this took more. So, I wasn't paying attention over here, and neither was Zsadok, because he lost one of his Pumachiki, maybe? No, he didn't. That's all he had, right? So, it was actually Chi Minh Godzilla that was not paying attention. So yes, interesting. But because he bought the fighter, it's not got anybody here. And isn't this funny? There's just nobody in there. Nobody went for it. Just kind of not what you would expect. So we got the smoke coming out. Incidentally, smoke in tall buildings doesn't work, as you can see. So just something to keep in mind, because look, that's right on that, and it can still see. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. This is the one from before. It's recovered from its stressful experience, because it didn't take any damage. Can't really see red holding on to this. But in the same vein, and like, look, that doesn't do anything. In the same vein, I can't really see blue holding on to this. He's bought kind of the wrong things here. He needs a tank and an infantry. 4 blowpipes against what exactly? So Kugareki gets blown up. And yes, you would definitely expect red to get pushed out here. Eventually. I mean, these are just not that great. You don't really have much of a choice on 25 wide, but because you don't get enough cards of the regular infantry, like you sort of have to bring the Pumachiki, but they're just not that great. So Schmel comes over and he's like, oh, there's nobody here. So he can just walk forwards. And he's got it locked down on this side, right? So, yeah, I think if he loses Anna but gains Sign, I'm pretty sure it'll be even. Because this'll, if it fully caps, right, that'll give him a +2. Whereas taking this will give him a +2, so... So yeah, that can be... This is a relatively common strategy, but people don't ever seem to expect it. Oh, it's not on an attack move order, so it's not shooting. Well, that's a shame, really. Could have got a couple of rounds off there. Probably wouldn't have killed it, but... You see the power of this thing, it's pretty strong. Oh, see? Look, that's how much damage it does to the side armor, I guess. Well, that might have been a front shot. Either way, it probably would. You know, he had 3 rounds or something, so he's unless he hits it 4 times in 3 rounds, it's not going to kill it. So, Zsadok brings these in the heli tab, so he only gets 2 of them. Whereas if he brought them in the recon tab, he gets 6. So, I think that's an oversight. And yeah, I'm surprised the 40% ECM plane isn't just diving the helo. I know there are Cubs there, but it's a 40% ECM plane, so usually people take the risk. Might not pay off, it might just die. I mean, this is out of ammo, but he doesn't know that, so... So yeah, blue takes Anna, and red takes Sign. And you see how useful these can be, right? I mean, it dies to a sneeze, but if a sneeze is not present, you know, it can just lay on the pain. So don't underestimate them. The reason you don't see them more is just because the BRM-1K is better at frontal fights, because it's got the armor. And people usually say, well, I've got the Conkers, BRDM2 Maryutka, BRDM2 Conkers, so I don't need the regular BRDM2, or I've got an SPW70 or whatever, but this div doesn't get any of those, so I can see why he's brought it. Okay, I mean, he could have ran away there, but... So... Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't expect the MiG-29 to win that fight, so I guess he just wants to sit under the Cubs, which he's bought another one of now. Needs some infantry, really. I mean, there's no... I thought this was that one, but no, it's a separate one. So it's 2 per card at 1 vet, and honestly, it's a really nice tank. It's a lot of money to buy at the start of the game, and it does die in 1 hit to an AT plane from the front. So you need 17 or 16 plus ERA, which this div gets a lot of 16 plus ERA. And it dies to 1 side shot from a Conkers, so it, you know, which is like Very common. So that can be a problem. But yeah, the issue Blue has now, having lost this part, is that the guys here can't help out over here, right? Whereas the guys here, let's say something happens inside, he can just swing them over, whereas this lot, because of the lake, has to go all the way around. So that's obviously not ideal. A lot of the maps they released when the game first came out, because this is one of the earlier ones, are just like really, really, really narrow. Because, I don't know, I guess they thought people would prefer them. There are some people who prefer them, but you know, they're wrong, so you don't really have to listen to them. And yeah, you see, it's the HMG that does a lot of the damage. You can tell from... Do you see when the HPs are going down? Yes, the tank gun is doing work, but the HPs are going down in between when this is firing. Right? And that's the HMG, right? This thing isn't really doing anything. You have to pay attention to that. And there's your... Wow. So that's why you must bring it at 2 vet, right? Because he just got that double hit. And now his gambling credentials have been served. But what's really happened there is that a 40% ECM plane just got 2-tapped by 2 things with quite low accuracy. And so the lesson he should learn from that is, oh, I shouldn't up-vet my fighters because they can die to any old bullshit, and so I should maximize number of fighters. But the lesson he's taken from it, because he was on the winning side, is, oh, up-vetting the fighters is a good thing. So, you know, gambling should be made illegal, basically, but they want to keep you suppressed or something. So the Motostrelki gets a really nice RPG, so you would expect it to do a lot to that, but he just missed twice in a row. Maybe he should have 2-vet it. Don't do that. So yeah, I prefer the Saperi RPO to the regular Saperi. It is just better. This thing's still alive, but now it's going to waste all its rockets on that. And now it's run out of rockets to kill this. Something is happening over here. So that was the Toad 2, I suppose. And yeah, it's kind of hard to tell when this thing's shooting at you. So I can understand, but he's not given these orders, so they'll just fly around in circles, getting closer and closer to the middle until they just die, or they get evac. So you gotta, whenever you got a fire truck, you want to shift click it back here loads. And if you don't want to look, you can do it from the minimap. The Cub needs to move. I guess this must have seen that. It's got ground surveillance radar. Because it hasn't fired. Right? So as you can see, that can actually kill a tank. And that was in like half a pass, right? Because he shot something else first. Oh, he almost died there to the Sky Guard. Blowpipe obviously missed, I mean. I think it missed. It might not have done. So, interesting play from Blue. Do you see where he's smoking? And that means the tanks can't really help out by firing across. So they have to come over here where they get shot by the Carl Gustavs. He needs to press the reverse key, right? Then he wouldn't be getting shot. Or he could just rely on his enemy missing him over and over again. It seems to have worked. So, yeah, I mean, the Canadian tanks are like half the price, and so you would expect, you know, lots of tanks. And yeah, honestly, like, where's the Erics? And we can see it coming now, but you should have had one of those out way earlier, because if that was an Erics there instead of a Carl Gustav, well, it'd just be dead. The Grom actually hit this, so that's something. And you'll notice he brings his first Leopards 1s at 2 vet, like his first card. Over here, you wouldn't expect it to change much. I mean, usually you'd say, well, put a grenade launcher in there or an ATGM, but he can't afford to bring them in his deck because he doesn't get enough cards of infantry, so he doesn't have either. I'm not 100% sure if that's the right move, if you should be bringing the conkers anyway, because you don't get any vehicle conkers, but then you've got one fewer card of infantry, and just bring a lot of your infantry at no vet maybe, but yeah, I mean, another thing you could do is, you know, use this on that, right? You just press C on this, because this doesn't help you really. So there you go, he gets the Tow Cobra, and he gets the thing on its way past, right? Because it just launches this, if it can. That's a 4 HP helo, so... Briusa went down, though, and the Cub went down here, I think, because he had 2 before. This is the big one with the big rockets. The big rockets are a lot better. Even though you get fewer of them, they just do more damage, right? And as you can see, this has 20 pen, so... albeit at the minimum range. But for 160 points, like, yeah, that's the one you want to be buying a lot of, basically. But yeah, if you get the recon tank, obviously that needs to be there. I don't know if I'd build it like that. I feel like you probably have to. I don't play a lot of 25th Soviet. Because there's just so many of these packed slop divs that are just, they're all the same. And, you know, it's like, well, now it's time to play the next packed slop div. I'd rather play something a bit more unique. Canada is a very unique div in that regard. It sort of does a little bit of everything. Which, incidentally, is my complaint about the packed slot divs, so... Anyway, Smoke stopped because he got bored or what have you. The tanks are healing up, like, so that's the best part, right? As long as the tanks aren't dying, but he does need some infantry in front of this. I appreciate this has good optics, but, you know, recon infantry here would be very useful. Question is, how many does he have left? Because he only brought 1 card of those. In the deck review, we put it up to 2 cards. For the rocket healers. And, yeah, I mean, you're going to struggle, right? Basically, he needs... Yes, exactly. He's doing it. So he should just run away as soon as that starts to... What is he doing? He probably thinks, oh, there's no AT there, it's just a flamethrower squad, and this is a vehicle, and so I'll be fine. But actually, there is AT there, it just has to jump forwards a little bit and kill it. Question is, will it do that? Because he needs both of them to just jump in, fire the shot, and then jump back out. The other thing is, imagine if he still had his smoke things working, he could smoke there, and, you know. He has to hit it twice. He died. Yeah, so I figured he'd put them both on that, but... I mean, I think he just reversed out of the fire, maybe. It does that automatically. So yeah, Canada's definitely got the better infantry. 25th Y has the better tanks, but Canada has more tanks. And there you go, he sorted it out. And what happened to... Did that seriously just get hit by that Cub? There's no way. The 25 minutes remaining. We'll have to check that. It must have been something else, like the blowpipes must have hit it, or maybe the ADATs hit it, because that bullet is very hard to see, right? Anyway, what you could do here is just, you know, hide behind these buildings, right? So he doesn't get shot. Yeah, he brings the seed at 2 vet as well, which I really don't think is a good idea, but it killed that. And it might not have done if it was at 1 vet. What can I say? I'm a more risk-adverse person. I wouldn't sacrifice the ability to buy a second plane for 5% accuracy and what is essentially 10% ECM. I wouldn't sacrifice a whole plane for that. I don't think it's worth it. So I believe that was showing its side armor. Yes. Otherwise it shouldn't have died there. But yeah, Blue's making a lot of micro mistakes, right? He sort of lost that in the transport. That's a very expensive unit. Okay, 60 points, which isn't too expensive. Needs to turn into it. Right-click him. Or just don't give any orders and just win. And wow, it's 2 vet, therefore 2 vet is good. But yeah, if that was at 1 there, it would have killed it anyway, because it would have just kept shooting at it. And it was more to do with the fact that he flew over the 2 cubs, which immediately evac'd him. And then I suppose this would eventually be in range as well. If they hadn't finished him there, he would have kept going. This would have shot him as well. So, but yeah, you need to move these after they shoot, because this should now be... Well, who's surprised, right? And then this 40-point CV should be next to that. You've got a CV for the front lines. Or this one, because that really isn't doing anything. See, after these fire, you need to move them. And this isn't the first time this has happened to him. There's a destroyed one around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, yeah. But, you know, he's on a +2, right? And this is sort of a little bit too far away, I suppose. No, it killed him, so there you go. More gambling. So, you could... I like the idea. Generally, you want the infantry first, because if he wasn't moving there, he would have just killed this. But yeah, it is, for whatever reason, he sort of stood in the open, so... And... yeah, that's got to evac now. But yeah, the ADATS is kind of hard to use, because it's... I mean, it's multi-purpose, which is nice. It shoots helicopters, tanks, and planes, which is really cool. But because of that, it costs 200 points. And it's not particularly good at shooting the planes. You know, you can just go behind the building, right? But basically, he can't see this, because it's got exceptional stealth, and it's got ground surveillance radar, which is how Blue can see this, right? But you can just hide behind there, right? You don't have to... I understand he wants to heal it up, but you can just move this closer and hide this behind this building or what have you. Ultimately, it doesn't make too much difference. It's just, you know, you want a unit in here so you can see what's going on. Like, preferably a recon, right? Which is on its way. Not sure what's going on with this. It might have routed before or something. This is the one with the big rockets. The Skyguard got stunned. Is he gonna make it? I guess so. Just managed to get behind the trees in time. SC-25's back. And yeah, these are really nice against infantry, because they've got... the HE is just off the caliber. Somebody was like, oh, it's because they use HESH. No, it's not. Or like HE frag or whatever. It's not. It's just done off the caliber. Look, 125mm, 1.25 HE. Which is obviously nonsensical if you think about the way, you know, radii work and volumes. It's not just linear off the diameter, is it? It's like the thing with pizzas. You know, 9-inch pizzas bigger than 5-inch pizza or whatever. So yeah, this seems to be going quite well. I mean, so the Motor Strelky in a 1v1 would lose the mech CP, right? Because it's a bigger squad, and it's got, you know... well, it's got the same number of machine guns. But it's just the fire support is helping. Admittedly, this should be helping a bit more, right? Because this can tank, it can tank Carl Gustav shots for a long time. I think it takes 1 damage each time, but... oh, yeah, so this is radar, and this won't ever shoot it. Just because it's just bugged. And it's been like that for ages, and they just can't be bothered fixing it. I assume it's not an easy fix, otherwise they'd do it. So yeah, towed radar guns are unseedable, even though they're radar. And seed is already crap. Yeah, that's something else you gotta watch out for when you're placing units here. They don't have a preservation instinct, so they will just go down this road and down. It's the same on the other side. If you put something here, it will go all the way up to here and then round, and it'll die, so... just got to keep that in mind. It's obviously not fantastic. Needs to just move back a little bit, so he only has to deal with the Cougars, right? The Leopard shooting at him is not something he really needs in his life right now. And yeah, the T-64As at the start of the game, like, that's the reason to play this div, because of that. And from what I understand, like, one of the Nemesis divs, or like one of the... there's something they've announced which seems to have something similar to that. I can't remember which one specifically, but it's definitely something they've already announced. Like Parlandra or something. It's got something similar to this. But yeah, it's just the fact that it's like a Chieftain Mark 9, but just way better. As in, like, way better. because it fires 10 rounds a minute. It's got one more pen. It's got more armor, and it's faster forwards and backwards, and it's got a HMG. And the chieftain's like, you know, 30 points less. Now, admittedly, he's probably not going to hit anything now, so he should probably just smoke and live to fight another day, as they say, right? But he wanted to... I just get the impression he's not looking. I assume he just wasn't looking. I was going to say he wanted to get that last shot in, but he didn't really react after that. Cub died. Not sure where that was. Maybe he got artied again. This guy made it, right? And then you see the power of the blowpipe. But I wouldn't be risking getting shot for, you know, a 20-point transport or whatever, so... But no, don't worry, missed again. Because with 2 pairs, we got 40% accuracy. Sorry. Getting cancer from witnessing the blowpipe. Leaving this on the floor can be funny, it's just... Yeah, exactly. It's basically, if it's on the floor, the AA can't shoot at it properly. But the tank certainly can. Meanwhile, the Grom slowly exacting its vengeance. I'm missing things, man. This is what's happening. I'm looking over here, Zsadok's looking over here. And that finally hit him. Took 5 shots. And yeah, these can fire. Well, to be honest, I mean it's risky, right? Because obviously the tanks can just kill that. So if he'd noticed it was on the ground, he could have kept going there, and you know he could just move up to here or whatever. But so yeah, the AA units won't shoot it if it's on the ground with their anti-air stuff. That was this probably. Blimey, what the hell happened to that? It must have been a side shot, like a double side shot. Engine destroyed. Well, there's life in it. As you can see, the T-64B does a lot more damage. So, he needs to get a supply over to there, but basically Godzilla should just immediately shoot that with the arty because it can't move, so... It's a free kill, basically. And the other thing you can do is, you know, so if this has smoke, you drive this in front and you smoke with that, and that might save you. You know, and the other ones, you do it with all of them. But the main problem is the arty should be on you, right? So you should just, it doesn't matter if you keep it smoked, so the arty's going to blow it up. Alright, I'm noticing a severe lack of noticing on this side. Lots of things dying that from both sides. That shouldn't really be dying. But yeah, he's not going for it. I guess he just didn't notice it had happened. So yeah, more jets without shift queued orders. So they were just flying to the middle of the map and spin round in circles and just eat bullets. It's a good job he's not got anything more substantial there, because it would die. Seeds come back out for the radar thing, but this is... It's just the game. It's just a problem with the game. And if you don't know, you don't know. So he's like, okay, I'll shoot. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? And if you don't know, you don't know. It's just that the game's fucked. But that ADATS, he got that. Wow, the power of 2 there. So the smoke's back. And you'll notice most people struggle to keep it sort of going the whole game. Well, everybody does, including myself, because if you're clicking on this over and over, then there's something else you're not clicking on. But, you know, Zsadok should really be buying that big arty piece. The, it's like best 152mm in the game, right? The Jiatsin. And then he can just blow these up. He's actually got 4, because he's just not resupplying them, he's just buying new ones, which is fair enough, really. They're only 35 points. And how much is the supply, you know? It's 30, so... Admittedly, you have to buy the transport. But if you're only rocking 2 cards of supply, yeah, don't bother resupplying the 82mm mortars or 81mm, just buy another one. So yeah, I mean, Blue's main advantage is the air spam, and so we haven't really seen that because Red's done a great job of keeping air superiority with his 2-vet fighter. But like that should have turned and fought because, and that this could have fought with him. I don't know. I mean, realistically, he needs his fighters, but I think they all died. I think he's just getting really unlucky with the RNG. That is a 40% ECM plane, I think. Oh, they have such similar names. That might not have been the 40% ECM plane. That might have been why it died. Was this an F-18? How can you tell? But yeah, the SC-25 comes in for the Skyguard, and no, that was on the other side. This T-64B survived. I believe you can use multiple supplies to heal things up faster, like they both heal at once. I do believe that works. And this has so it's actually a different one, right? Because the other one did run out of ammo. Must have evac'd that. So he's got the Grad in the deck, and it is useful. It's just... It's like it's the same as these BRDM2 recons. It tends to be an opportunity cost problem. That it's like, yes, the Grad is useful, but 2 of the howitzers at 1 vet is more useful because you don't always need a Grad, whereas those 2 howitzers will always have targets, right? But this is a very good Grad moment because there's just a lot of guys in a small space, and look, he's routing them. Admittedly, you can't really tell it's firing, but it is. And so that was perfect for the Grad, right? 2 regular howitzers wouldn't be able to accomplish that. It's rare that that happens compared to the other thing, which is, oh, there's a bloody HMG team in that building, or grenade launcher, or a tow, or some sort of ATGM, or you really got to be careful with these because he's bought that and he's just clicked the icon there, and so he's probably assumed that it would have a self-preservation instinct, but it does not. So it just comes down the middle and gets shot. So yeah, the noticing, the lack of noticing, it's a big problem. So Blue's just out of stuff. He attacked very aggressively there, and the Grad killed all his infantry, and now what? As you can see, the Leopard 1s can't really compete. And this is Zsadok's cheapest tank. And it's taking 1 damage per hit. Admittedly, it is sort of getting cyberbullied a bit, but look at that, right? This needs to soak him back now. Unless, well, you can take a risk on it. And now you're dead, so... So that's the joys of taking risks. And... yeah, it's difficult to fight into somebody when your tanks deal 1 damage to him, but the point is that you're supposed to supplement your tanks with ATGMs. Admittedly, Canada doesn't get IFVs, but like the fact that he has this and there's no ITO in here is, that is a big mistake. And there can be like this behind, I suppose. That's in the deck for a reason, right? I can't remember if he brings the Milan ones, like the car ones. I know I literally just looked at that, but... So, healing up. And you'll notice, like, so Zsadok, he is losing units, but it tends not to be the tanks. And that's important, right? Because if you lose a 40-point motor Strelky, I mean, it's just basic maths, right? You can lose 4 of these, and it will matter as much as losing 1 of these. So, and this is... There used to be a player called Karma, and he was the best Warno player for like the first year of early access. He just stopped playing. Nobody could beat him. He just stopped playing, and he used to say, micro is a resource. Spend your resource on things that matter. Don't waste your micro on 40-point infantry and then lose your 200-point tank. So, yeah, the power of the 2-vet seed, I mean, it's got a lot more to do with the fact that this guy's just refusing to switch off his ADATs. And so it's just getting hit every time. But yes, that the extra accuracy does help. It's just I would prefer to have 2 seeds. Admittedly, you have to pay. You gotta buy 2 seeds, right? So this is not the F-18. This is what exactly? Oh, it's that. It's that trainer jet, the F5, right? People always get mad when I call it trainer jet. So as you can see, it has fighting characteristics, right? It's just it's got less ECM. It's only got 10%, and I think that's the one that died back here, which is like I was like, oh, he's unlucky. Well, it's not if it's only got 10% ECM. It's basically what you would expect to happen. You expect it to get hit. So yeah, Red's counterattack's coming in. He's already on a +2, but if he takes this, it'll be a +4. So there's not really much reason for him to hurry, right? And yeah, it's a tough gig if you're blue, but I think, you know, he didn't really use his Erics. We didn't really see a whole lot of that. Like, the smoke was nice, but then, you know, smoke without good AT. Point is, you get in there with your good AT, and then if he had the Erics there, he would just be killing all the tanks, because it's got an absolutely insane pen value. So look at that. One of those, right, without zooming in, which one's the F-18? Admittedly, this has an 8 in it. So is that, so is that the way you learn, right? So he gets the tank. And the Cubs, we've only got 1 Cub left. I think he did buy all 4, and they all died. But yeah, this is ready, you just need something to shoot at it. He does have a smoke mortar, or at least he did at some point. Oh, it's over here, isn't it? I must have died. Oh, I see, it's shooting. I was going to say, why isn't it shooting back? But it's because it can't actually see it. So I'm surprised he didn't just right-click the tow cobra. Isn't that the bigger target? Yeah. These tanks are really quite cool. This one in particular is probably my favourite tank in the game. On stats and stuff, obviously I want to like the chieftains, they just suck. Anyway, you see he used it on that, but he'd already used most of his bullets, so I'm not sure he would have killed it anyway, actually. Depends on the RNG. And there you go, the power of the 2-vet Su-27. He's trying to shoot it with the bomber. Will it fire its side miss? Okay, yeah, you right-clicked it. Well, you're definitely not hitting that now. That's the 10% ECM one, because it's not got an 8 in it. And there you go, he still took a crit and had to evac. Admittedly, this is taking a lot of names, this Cub. Audom. Not been missing much. But yeah, it was the ground game that won it, really. So we've got Zsadok, rank 323. That's because he's not played enough games. Because his win rate's high. If he played more games, it'd go up. Of course, I mean, obviously if you play more games, you get better, but... And then we got Godzilla. More ranked games, but lower win rate. So this guy must watch hippie YouTube videos, and this guy must not. It's the only explanation. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty convincing win. Just, I mean, remember to switch off your remember to switch off your ADAS, especially when you're against the seed. But Canada losing air superiority is not. It doesn't usually happen. So credit to Zsadok for doing that. You just get fighting over the Cubs, and if you fight over the Cubs, you're probably going to win, because the enemy plane is either going to get hit by a Cub, or it's going to just get stress evac'd, and then you shoot it in the back with your plane. Anyways, have a good one. GG.